Bill here with the Metals Minute. Today is Wednesday, September 21st, 2022. Well, we've had some serious announcements made overnight about 2 a.m. Central Standard Time. The President of Russia released an update about their military plans. He's calling up 300,000 additional Russian troops, reservists, and including veterans that aren't currently in the military but they have experience. He's calling them back, and he has reiterated their commitment to defend all of Russia, including the occupied areas that they've recently began occupying in Ukraine. And although there's going to be an election, a referendum they call it, over the next week in 4 different provinces of Ukraine, and depending on how those go, he has vowed to defend all 4 of those areas and basically treat it as Russia itself. So this is an escalation, and he also has said that it's not Ukraine that they're fighting, but all of the collective West. So he's acknowledging the additional troops and equipment that's come from all over the world, mostly NATO countries, the United States being the largest provider of equipment, and there's several personnel from various countries there helping Ukraine. So he looks at it as a fight with the collective West rather than for the survival of Russia, rather than just a conflict between Russia and Ukraine. So that's an acknowledged escalation. We'll see how things go from here, but it doesn't bode well for the economies of Europe and to some degree the United States. We've seen 300% increase in the price of natural gas over the last couple of years here in the United States. That's projected to be even higher, and there's pressure for them to not export energy to Europe, and so they feel like we need more lower energy here, and so we've been exporting both diesel and oil and gas. So there are some trying to slow some of that down. Don't know how that's going to work, but the main pain right now is in Europe. A lot of the industries are shutting down because they can't afford the energy. Small businesses, manufacturers alike. Here in the United States, we're also going to be impacted later today. Federal Reserve is going to announce, consensus is it's going to be 3/4 of a percentage point, 0.75 of a percentage on the interest rates, on the federal funds rate. So that's going to have a knock-on effect to all other interest rates, including mortgages, which are already over 6%. They've more than doubled in 1 year's time, and it's beginning to have an impact on real estate prices. Higher interest rates will affect all types of consumer debt, and this will help slow the economy perhaps quicker than what they thought it might. So we may have some rough waters here domestically in our economy, probably more due to interest rates than the conflict in Russia, although Europe is more likely going to be affected more heavily by the conflict and the sanctions regime there in Russia, and energy availability and prices and etc. So there's a lot of things going on right now to slow down the economy and to also create a lot of uncertainty and a lot of negativity for stocks and bonds and real estate prices. And therefore, as we enter into this stagflationary period, that's one of the reasons why precious metals ends up being a top performer in this type of environment. And overnight, all 4 metals were higher. We have all the details for the 1 week and 1 year numbers in the write-up. But so far for the year to date, the metals complex is doing better than any of the major stock or bond indexes. And I believe that's likely set to continue as we look at and digest all of the news that's coming in today. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you again soon.